What's up, guys, and welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K.R.A. Knight, here to give you proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. Whew, man. This is actually not a heavy comic book week for me. It will be soon, but you know. So anyway, we have the Aquaman DC All-In story that has started. So we have Aquaman's solo story that has started, and that is on the chopping block today. And the reason I say it's on the chopping block like that is because it was actually pretty good. So, of course, this is coming off of Absolute Power. And Aquaman was affected by, because as we saw in Absolute Power, when they sent the Amazos to Atlantis, Aquaman definitely lost his powers. Everybody did, really. And when the powers were sent back, he got Mira's hydrokinesis. So, in the start of all of this, they are, talking about the different pieces of Arthur Curry and what he is like, father, king, etc. And then there is a plane that is going down over the ocean, and the captain, I think his name is Neptune Cutler or Cutler Neptune, he is out on his boat. He sees the plane is going down, and he is preparing to get divers in the water so that they can assist, up until the point where his first mate is like, oh my gosh, there's something moving incredibly fast to intercept. Like, what do we do? And he's like, oh, well, cool. Delay those orders then. And he's like, but the plane. He's like, I'm not worried about the plane anymore. Relax. Aquaman comes up and he uses her hydrokinesis to land the plane safely, and then he uses his powers over controlling the animals to get the people to safety. And instead of like panicking about him having new powers, which he's kind of panicking but not really, she's teaching him how to use those powers. And she even says that doing what he just did and taking that plane down was a lot even for her, but he did it so smoothly. It's like, it's almost as if those powers were his to begin with. So they end up going back home, back to Atlantis, and she's like, this is just the start of our day, honey. And so when they get back there, they do stop and talk to Jackson, or Aqualad. And he informs them that there is a pearl that has been found. And it's very weird, very odd. And Garth says that it's magical. However, he really doesn't have the time to figure it out. So he sends Jackson over there. Mira takes their kid and is like gonna go parent. He has a bunch of meetings that he has to go sit in all day. Props of being the king. It's like the same thing with Naruto when he became Hokage, and he had to sit at that desk and just do fucking paperwork all day. That is what this reminds me of. This is so funny, listening to him watching him listen to politics that he very clearly does not care about. And finally, he gets some action over in Florida, where there is this hydrokinetic monsters, this water monster, solid construct that is basically attacking the city, destroying it. And he was all too happy to leave that meeting to go fight that. And honestly, I would be like the same way, because I don't like sitting in meetings for work. So I don't want to hear you guys talk all day. So while he's going to do that, he's actually losing to this thing. He gets knocked into a building and they're like, oh, hey, do you need some help? Do you need us to do anything? He's like, oh, just stay back. So he finally, because she's not there, obviously. So he finally kind of just concentrates and uses the hydrokinesis to control the water monster and make it disappear. As he's doing that, he hears Mira call his name all the way at the surface, and he speeds down there because something is very clearly wrong. When he gets down there, Atlantis does not exist. Atlantis is gone. Nothing but ruins there. And there's nobody there. Nothing is there except for that pearl. And he wasted absolutely no time. He went to the watchtower and he didn't speak to nobody, nothing. Where's Batman? Where is he? So he brought the pearl with, and they give it to Zatanna, and he's basically explaining what happened. He was fighting a monster, he heard her voice, he went down there, Atlantis is gone. And he's very, very just confused by that. Zatanna is inspecting with her magic this magical pearl, and she can't tell them anything about it, which is weird to her because she should at least be able to see the history of it to know what it is. But there's something magical preventing even that from being shown. So, it's weird. And they get like a signal or something somewhere, and or she gets a glimpse of something, and he's like, where is it? So of course she gives them the coordinates, and Wonder Woman and Batman without hesitation go with him, even though, and he said, like, they're not very useful in this situation because they're in the water and they can only do so much. They have their special water suits that they can, like, go out of the ship and swim in, that they came down. So, they go and inspect it, and it looks a little suspicious. It's quite literally just an arch under the water, and it's like kind of weird, but the pearl starts reacting to it. So when the pearl reacts to it, and they kind of just put it over there or let it go over there, it turns into a gate. And he's like, I have to go. They're like, it could be a trap. And he's like, yeah, but it could also lead me to Atlantis. Like, there's like a dilemma going on there. And so Wonder Woman's like, then go with the speed of the gods, find your wife, find your kids, find your people. And Batman's just like, and whoever stands in your way, if someone stands in your way, give him fucking hell, okay? And so he goes through the gate. After he goes through the gate, we are looking at the sign of Darkseid. And Wonder Woman's just like, do you see what I see? And he's just like, oh, hell. God help him. God help us. When I say trap, whenever and if this is just, it speaks to the writing for Batman currently, and this is what I'm really liking about this Justice League DC All-In, all of this situation, is the writing for each character actually fits the way they were in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. Because if Batman said something was happening, it turned out that that's what happened. Batman quite literally just sat here and said, it could be a trap. And then here we are looking at the Omega sign, the sign of Darkseid. So it's just like, sometimes listening to Batman's not a bad idea. Sometimes. Now, this issue was actually a very interesting read. I do like how they kept his character, and they didn't have to stray afar. It's kind of like how the Atom Project started, but I don't like the Atom Project. The Atom Project was very messy, very confusing, very not good. This, they kept it tight, and that's what I like about any stories that do involve Aquaman, because they stay pretty tight in the same area. He goes to go help people, of course, but his mainstays are Atlantis, the Watchtower, Atlantis, the Justice League. So wherever the Justice League headquarters is, Atlantis, the Justice League. After he finishes doing whatever mission, he goes back to Atlantis, and then he's with the Justice League. He doesn't have to go all over the place and go from here to here to here to here. Atlantis, Justice League. Honestly and truly, I don't think that the writing could have been done better for this. This was a really, really good start to this series. And I really hope that they continue on this path they're going on with some of these stories, because some of these stories coming out of, like, immediately, like, coming out of following the consequences and results of absolute power are absolutely fabulous, honestly. Some of them some of them are simply not, but this one is in the realm of ones that are doing a really good job at picking up where it was all left off. I'm very, very interested in seeing where it goes. The artwork for this was actually very, very nice. And that's another thing that I'm really noticing, is that a lot of these comics are stepping up the artwork after DC All In, and staying consistent, or after Absolute Power, staying consistent through DC All In with the artwork coming out of Absolute Power, like the main Absolute Power story. And I'm really liking that. It gives you a better cohesive story when the art is consistent like that. So I really do like and appreciate how they're doing those things. I don't know. I think that's it for me for this one. The Aquaman one was not long, and I did not have like a crap ton of things to say. So again, I really hope that they continue doing really well with this series, and hopefully we get some immediate answers. Meanwhile, if you have not already done so, get my book. The link is going to be in the description. And that's it for this episode of The Doctor's Office. Oh, and the podcast, those episodes come out every other Sunday, and that started on the 12th. And we're going to have a lot of good things for you guys this year. I'm not sure why I'm saying we, as if there's more than one person that does this show in particular. It's literally me. I'm going to have a lot of things for you guys this year, and I'm really, really excited. So, but that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office, and I will see you guys at your next checkup.